So Ravi Srivastava is back with us on the debate. He was there during the news break. Good evening. We've got Yogendra Yadav, founder of Swaraj Abhiyan. Good evening. Sambit Patra of the BJP. Bejon Mishra, consumer rights activist, was also there during the news break on India Upfront at 8 o'clock when we put the facts out. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have Suman C. Raman also joining us in just a bit. But here's what we'd like you to first opine on and join us on the engagement on www.involve.in. Twitter handle kiska? Arvind Kejriwal ka. लड़ाई किसकी? अरविंद केजरीवाल की. गालियां किसने दी? अरविंद केजरीवाल ने. केस, what is the nature of the case? Private in nature. Did Arun Jaitley file the case as a minister? No, in individual capacity. Did Arvind Kejriwal fight the case as a minister? No, in individual capacity. तो पैसा आपका क्यों? Why should the money be yours? Straightforward. Should Arvind Kejriwal apologize to you, the people? Tell us what you think. Sir, once again, Bejon Mishra, let's start with the neutral voice, the apolitical voice in the panel tonight. Suman C. Raman also joins us. Why should you pay for somebody who decides on a Twitter handle, will get personal with another person, and that person says, in my individual capacity, I'll take you to court? Why should you foot the bill, sir?
No, and not only that. You see, he wants to adopt the same practices which all political parties did, and now they have the audacity to also give those examples. You know, like some political party, supported, some government supported, so we are also doing it. So they won the elections to bring reforms. They won the elections on an anti-corruption crusade, and now when they come to power, they forget about the Aam Aadmi. They are not bothered about Aam Aadmi any longer. They want to practice the same practices which other governments did. They want to adopt the same practices against which they spoke before they won the elections. You see, the Delhi voters are completely dejected, disappointed, and they feel that they have been highly cheated. They have been cheated because all the wrong things which he is doing, he wants that the Delhi government should protect
and then he goes and during the civic body elections, he is brazen enough to go and stand at an election rally at one of the mohallas and say कि केस मुझ पे किया है तो पैसा मैं क्यों दूं? भाई केस आप पे किया है तो पैसा बिल भी आप ही भरोगे. मैं टॉप लॉयर को लाया, राम जेठमलानी को लाया हूं. भाई there was an entire there is an entire trail of courts which and where you are advised. You have to take the clearance from the LG's office. If you have to pay this gentleman, this very senior reputed lawyer, 22 lakhs per visit, you have to take a clearance.
He bent rules. He bent rules.
Sir, I am saying,
which means that he is also adopting corrupt practices.
Sir,
he is adopting corrupt practices.
Bejon Mishra, Ravi Srivastava is a founder member of the Aam Aadmi Party. Ravi Srivastava is a founder member of the Aam Aadmi Party, became a founder member of the Aam Aadmi Party. Why? Because this was a party which was different from the other parties, sir.
I don't understand why is he protecting.
No, suniye to say, this was a party. This was a party.
Mr. Bejon Mishra,
this was a party.
I can shout louder than you.
This was a party which was different from other parties. Yes or no? Yes or no, Ravi Srivastava?
You can shout louder than you. You keep on shouting. Will not prove your point. Allow me to speak. I will tell you.
Bejon Mishra today is a neutral party.
Do not raise your voice unnecessarily.
He is not here to defend anybody or play politics. Bejon Mishra, like many other Indians today, is extremely angry with what is happening. Ravi Srivastava, let him express his anger. Arvind Kejriwal may not want to see it, but this is the reality. What Bejon Mishra is reflecting is the reality where people are feeling angry and betrayed because they were promised a different kind of politics and a cleaner version of it. Now all we hear every time we raise anything about Arvind Kejriwal is, so what? Others also seem to be doing it. Go ahead, Ravi Srivastava.
Let me put my points across. Yeah, that's important. See, first of all, what Mr. Bejon Mishra started with, that Aam Aadmi Party is copying other parties who are doing the similar things. First of all, the example which I quoted of Shivraj Singh Chauhan, 11 lakh rupees per sitting has already been paid and not once, several times. So another thing which I want to tell is, listen.
Okay, wait, what is the difference? Ravi Srivastava, one by one. Ravi Srivastava, one by one. Let's demolish each argument one by one. Okay. What is the difference between Madhya Pradesh and Delhi? What is the difference between Madhya Pradesh and Delhi?
Yes. Anand, allow me to tell. First of all, the moment Arvind Kejriwal's this case was, first of all, we are not telling the viewers what the case is. We are telling 4 crore rupees Arvind Kejriwal took a decision. For what? There was a corruption in DDCA. It was
wait. What is the difference? Answer my question. Answer my question, Ravi Srivastava. What's the difference between Delhi and Madhya Pradesh?
He hired
No, Ravi Srivastava, if I'm engaging you one by one, your point, sir, you should be fair and answer my question too. Okay. What is the difference between Delhi and Madhya Pradesh? What is the difference between Delhi and Madhya Pradesh?
A defamation case.
No. What is the difference between Delhi and Madhya Pradesh as states, sir? What is the difference? The single largest difference?
In the administrative functioning.
The administrative functioning and control lies with the Lieutenant Governor's office as far as the state of Delhi is concerned. Sir, if the LG office, did Arvind Kejriwal take the permission of the LG's office to tell them that I want the state of Delhi to foot my legal fees? He did not. Was he advised to do that? He was. Did he know the rules? He did. Did the General Administrative Department advise him not to indulge in it because the maximum limit for an external legal counsel is 10 lakh rupees per annum? He knew about it. Did he still overrule all of this and go ahead and hire the services of Ram Jethmalani? He did. Did he keep the LG's office in the dark? He did. So did he fool the people and the LG's office? Yes, he did. That is the biggest difference, Ravi Srivastava. That is the biggest difference. No ifs and no buts, only facts, sir. Only facts. Once, twice, thrice, 4 times he was advised and he refused to heed the advice of his own people. How many times has he done that? How many times has he done that, Yogendra Yadav? How many times has he done that? Let's open up the debate. Wait a minute, Ravi Srivastava. How many times has he done that, Yogendra Yadav? How is this fair, sir?
Anand, I must confess that I thought I was here for a different debate. I thought I was here for a Modi at 3 debate. So,
you're welcome to stay on. You're welcome to stay on.
So in any case, 10:30 we will debate. In this debate.
We will debate.
Let me just say one thing.
Please to stay on with us.
Yeah.
You're welcome to stay on for that debate too. Sambit Patra will also be staying on, but please to stay on. But here right now we're discussing the AAP story because it happened. The news break happened at 8, and we thought we have to debate it at 10. Go ahead, sir.
So I thought that I had heard this story a few weeks ago, and at that point what I had said was the following. Number one, that when Mr. Kejriwal did what he said against Mr. Arun Jaitley, there was no reason that as a chief minister he had to do it. He was not performing his duty as chief minister in making those accusations. He could have held an inquiry, no one prevented him from that. He could have actually ordered things against DDCA, but going out and making personal accusation was not being done in his capacity as chief minister. So clearly, ethically, he was the one who was required to pay this. Secondly, there is a technical flaw. There is a proper procedure. If you want something like this to be covered by the state, as you have quoted today, and this was quite well known, there were rules, and all those rules were not followed. So it was both immoral and not legal for him to do so.
Yes,
I'm not sure what additional things have we learned today.
Mr. Yogendra Yadav,
the only thing that we have learned today is, can I just say that?
Okay, go ahead.
I've been listening to you very carefully. What we have learned today is that Additional Solicitor General says that it is wrong. Did I expect him to say anything different? I'm afraid not. I must confess to a certain feeling of tiredness about it. I was outraged when I heard this for the first time. I don't quite manage to get outraged about the same thing over and over again. And I do think there is some bit of tiredness, and I'm sure your channel and other media is not short of stories. I'm sure there are lots of things happening in this country. And I do sometimes feel, as an adversary of Mr. Kejriwal, as someone who deeply disagrees with his politics in a fundamental way, I do feel that there is this sense of targeting. I really hope and believe, I don't manage to watch your channel all the time, but I do hope that you spend at least half that energy in picking holes about the ruling party as well.
Mr.
Absolutely. Yogendra Yadav,
you're welcome to stay on.
Yeah, and
you're welcome to stay on at 10:30. Sir.
We'll do that at the debate at 10:30. Yogendra Yadav, just to that, I don't want to get into what we do or what we don't through the day. We just hope you watch more of us, and so you will know the kind of stories that we are doing. Yogendra Yadav, the fact here is that this is not about the story that happened a few weeks ago, which also Times was the first one to put out. The fact here is that here is a top legal officer's view that goes on to say it is impossible under the Constitution to use public money for private purpose. That he's highlighted the same thing, that Kejriwal is being sued in his individual capacity, and he's defending the same in his individual capacity. For anyone to come out and say that we are twisting the facts, here are some facts as per how the top legal officer Sanjay Jain, ASG, thinks. Public money cannot be used to defend Chief Minister for statements that have been made in the personal capacity. And the papers show, Yogendra Yadav, that multiple times when his own department even tried to warn him about it, Yogendra Yadav, he did not pay heed.
Do you expect him to
He did not pay heed to that. So, Ravi Srivastava, when you sit here and say, how does it make a difference? It does make a difference. Because there was every single intention.
Tanvi,
and now I can sit here and show you 10 more documents that show that there was every single intention to make the people pay that bill, foot that bill for 4 crore rupees. And God knows how much more had the case continued. And with Ram Jethmalani, but that's a different matter. Sumansi Raman, why should we not highlight it again and again?
I say
this is a man who continues to fight the battle, continues to play the victim, continues to play the victim card every single time as he disregards every single law that is there in the rule book.
There is no problem. No, there is no problem with highlighting this particular issue. In this case, it's very, very difficult to defend Mr. Kejriwal on this because there's very little to defend. Having said that, as Mr. Yadav rightly pointed out, it would be good if there were stories which were not only about the opposition. There were stories about the ruling party and the government as well, which we almost never see.
You can always choose. Every story is important for us, Sumansi Raman. Every story is important for us, especially of the man who gets an overwhelming mandate of 67 seats in the Delhi Assembly and time and again comes out and says, we are the party with the difference. We are the party who wage a crusade against corruption. He is the man who called the Prime Minister a psychopath on his Twitter handle, and he expects people to foot the bill for that. No, sir. He thinks that he can do whatever and say whatever on his private Twitter handle as an individual and then expect the people to foot the damages for that. How is that fair? And if that is not a story that India should be bothered about, I do not know what else is a story that India should be bothered about. So don't play down our story, sir. We are proud of this news break because we have taken a lot of effort to put this news break out. So please don't do that. With due respect to Sumansi Raman and to Yogendra Yadav. Sambit Patra coming to you. Sambit Patra coming to you. Sambit Patra coming to you. It's very easy, very convenient. Very convenient. On a day when NDA completes 3 years, sir, the documents that come to us tell us about the man who claimed to be the beacon of alternative politics. How brazenly he decided that the people will foot his bill for whatever excesses he commits. His legal bills for whatever excesses he commits in a personal capacity. How is that fair to the people, sir? And if we ask that question, there are others who are asking, so what's the big deal? We're getting tired about stories of Arvind Kejriwal. Sir, we are not tired about asking questions of Arvind Kejriwal because he's not tiring of looting the people.
Anand, they've cut the mic.
Dr. Sumanthi Raman, you should. Dr. Sumanthi Raman, you are a reputed person. You should not be seen defending Mr. Kejriwal.
You please first explain to me. Do you know the difference between Madhya Pradesh? Do you know the difference between Madhya Pradesh and Delhi? You know the difference, Sumanthi Raman. So why did Arvind Kejriwal not get the sanction of the LG's office? You don't have an answer for that. If he thinks that he can overrule the LG's office, he is wrong, sir, and he is wrong at all counts. If he thinks he can loot the people, he's wrong, sir. So you first call out Arvind Kejriwal before you call out anybody else. Sambit.
Even if the LG had sanctioned it, it is not valid. How can Arvind Kejriwal
only when Dr. Sumanthi Raman allows me to speak. He is such a respected man. Please, sir, please don't shout, sir. Hear me out also.
Okay.
First and foremost, with all due respect to Yogendra Yadav and Mr. Sumanthi Raman, both of them are reputed people. See, let's not talk about targeting. Let's not talk about whether they're tired of seeing only Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. Let's go to the technicalities of the issue. Since this is the topic of the debate, let's not shoot the messenger. Let's see as to how this debate is extremely important. This debate is extremely important because when the trustee of public money, Arvind Kejriwal is the trustee of public money, when he usurps the public money, when he spends the public money for his own safety, for his own pleasure, that is the reason as to why this debate becomes extremely important. Now, this debate is of two parts. Part one, is this a private case or a public case? And secondly, what are the rule books, what are the rules which have been thrown out of the window? Number one, as far as whether this is a private case or not, number one, this is a private case because of the submission of Mr. Kejriwal himself. 19/10/2016 judgment of the Delhi High Court carries the excerpts of it, where Mr. Kejriwal himself, through his written submission, agrees in the court of the law, and I quote, that the proceedings are private in nature, both the civil and the criminal cases. In fact, he says that please club them into one. Let's not have a separate criminal case because already there is a civil case going on and both of them are similar and both of them are private in nature. They are personal in nature. So he himself says this is personal in nature. It is not that the Bharatiya Janata Party is just saying that. Secondly, and very importantly, what are the 4 rules? Remember, 4 rules have been thrown out of the window. Rule number 1. The first transgression is Rule 5.2d of the transaction of the business rules. No department shall, without previous concurrence of finance department, issue any order which may have a financial bearing, whether involving expenditure or otherwise. So did he take the concurrence of the finance department? No. Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Manish Sisodiya did not take the concurrence of the finance department. The second transgression, there is a Delhi High Court verdict in the GNCT of Delhi versus Union of India dated 4/8/2016. What does the law, that is Delhi High Court, say? We are of the considered view that it is mandatory under constitutional schemes to communicate the decision of the Council of Ministers to LG. Was it communicated to LG? No. Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Sisodiya did not deem fit to communicate it to the LG. The third transgression is advice of the Delhi Law Department, his own department, sir. His own Delhi Law Department dated 7/12/2016, just before the standing orders were passed. And what does his own department say? That the proposal would require the prior...
everything that we've put out. Thank you, Shambit. The point is,
everything is in public. Everything is in. You would find everything in.
Others are reputed people.
There are multiple transgressions and multiple times that the law and the advice of their own department has been ignored. The fact that they were supposed to go to the Lieutenant Governor, but they didn't for the approval until the very last minute is out now. Ravi Srivastava, how long and for what all are you going to sit here and defend? We will repeatedly put out stories.
I am telling you.
Because we believe that this must be put out until Arvind Kejriwal comes out and admits the truth. He can keep fighting and keep denying every single one of it. He can keep defending all his ministers who are under investigation for all kinds of now corruption and money laundering charges. But at some point, Arvind Kejriwal has to come out and defend himself. When will he do that?
For what? For what, Tanvi? For what? I am telling, I am responding, you know. I am telling this afterthought. This letter is an afterthought in April 16 because it's a government law officer who is just covering the whole thing what had happened over there.
Everybody you need to say, everybody in this whole country is just out to get Arvind Kejriwal. Is that it, Ravi Srivastava? Sumansi Raman, everybody, the government, the legal officers, the judiciary, the media, Sumansi Raman, seems to be out to get Arvind Kejriwal, who will not even utter one single word in defense of the allegations against him or in defense of the allegations against a series of his leaders and ministers. Arvind Kejriwal still believes he's beyond this all because he's Mr. Clean, Sumansi Raman.
Look, there is nothing to defend Mr. Arvind Kejriwal here. What he has done is wrong. What he has done is wrong. There is no question of defending this because very clearly it is a private complaint.
So let's stop it there, Sumansi Raman, and let's tell Arvind Kejriwal to apologize to the very people who gave him a mandate.
Let's go to the other cases. No. We should also raise the larger question. This is happening in state after state. I'll give you an example. You know the case of Shivraj Singh Chauhan. In Tamil Nadu, 180 defamation cases were filed by the Jayalalitha government for anything that people said against her.
Yes.
This same question came up in court.
Exactly.
Saying, should the government lawyers be appearing for her? And that was a big issue which raised a lot of controversy, and that matter.
Absolutely, let's raise those issues.
So
but the single biggest aspect, Sumansi Raman, which stands out is, as far as Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, what differentiates Delhi from Madhya Pradesh and Tamil Nadu is that Delhi still remains under the control, administrative control of the Lieutenant Governor. The Lieutenant Governor's office was kept in the dark about the decision to hire and to pay this huge sum of amount from the Delhi public's funds. From the state funds. There was no approval for this. There was no approval for this.
How can the Lieutenant Governor
the other aspect. No, the other aspect. You give me, sir. You give me. You are making claims. I am telling you. You give me recommendations within the Home Department of Tamil Nadu or the Home Department of Madhya Pradesh, where the government-appointed law department says that this is wrong. You cannot go ahead and do this. We'll put those documents out. Yeah. You get me the documents, sir. I'll put it out. We hold no favor to anybody, and we don't hold a brief for anybody. We are putting out the documents. We have access, and this is what it says 4 times. This is what it says 4 times as a wind up. 26th of December 2016, Delhi Law Department says, office order dated 21/12/2016 didn't satisfy provisions laid down in the Transaction of Business Rules 1993. 31st December 2016, Secretary of the General Administrative Department says standing order did not satisfy the provisions laid down in the Transaction of Business Rules 1993. 21st February 2017, Delhi Law Department. According to guidelines framed by the Law Department, appointment of legal counsels on government panel could be made by LG only. What the Aam Aadmi Party did on 27th of February 2017, the minister said, sanction the appointment of Mr. Jethmalani. So this is not afterthought, sir. This is not afterthought, Mr. Ravi Srivastava. Time and again the advice was given. Time and again the advice was given. The advice was ignored because they thought, तुम कौन होते हो बोलने वाले? हम अपने मन की करेंगे और जाके जनता को बोलेंगे भरो हमारा बिल. और जनता भरेगी क्योंकि जनता बेवकूफ है. बट जनता बेवकूफ नहीं है. जनता अब आपसे सवाल पूछ रही है और आपसे कह रही है अपना बिल आप भरो. That's what we are saying. I have to wind up, Sambit, because we're setting up the next debate. Modi 3 years. I request you and Mr. Yogendra Yadav to please stay on. Sir, we'd love to have you on the debate, although it's not scheduled, Mr. Yadav. And I'd like you to ask some questions to Dr. Sambit Patra. We'll set that debate up. Debate number 3 up next. I thank you all for joining us on debate number 2 on the news.